industry veterans, freshers, college students, or even hobbyists. Whenever they want to code, they use some kind of system or a station, and many of them choose to use laptops. Now laptops, because laptops provide a large number of benefits, and one of the most important benefits they provide is its mobility. It's very easy to carry a laptop anywhere you want. And that's why guys, in this video I'll be talking about all the best laptops there are for programming in the year of 2020. Now guys, a disclaimer before we start talking about these laptops. Remember that these are just the tools. It's how you use them that actually matters. Now the specifications themselves also do matter, but it's how you utilize those specifications that matters more. So with that disclaimer in mind, let's start. There are a few requirements that you need to keep in mind whenever you're looking at these laptops or whenever you're researching any kind of laptop. So with programming laptops, we need to keep some requirements in mind. So let's look at these requirements. One of the first requirements is to have a powerful processor. Now it's very important to have a powerful processor because code compilation depends almost entirely on a laptop's CPU, and hence we need to make sure that we have a very efficient as well as a fast processor. Another requirement is to have a good amount of RAM. Now it's very important to have a good amount of memory, both RAM and secondary storage, because a good amount of RAM added with an SSD can do wonders for the processing time. And you can also multitask way more easily than you could ever before. Another requirement is to have a comfortable keyboard. Now it's very important to have a comfortable keyboard because you'll be working long hours, you'll be coding very long, so you don't want to tire yourself or you don't want to be uncomfortable. You'll lose productivity that way. So you need to make sure that the keyboard is comfortable for the laptop and it's backlit. Now backlit because you might be working in dark places, so it's good to have a keyboard that you can look at when you're typing on. And it doesn't hurt to have a good travel time for the keyboard. Alright, so another requirement we have is a high resolution display. Now a high resolution display is important, and you kind of understand that from everyday scenarios because you're looking at your screen for so long, you're looking at your phone screen for so long. So you need to make sure that if you're looking at it for so long, you have a high resolution display so that you don't have to squint or strain your eyes looking at it. That's why it's important to have a high resolution display. Now these are the main requirements. There are a few side requirements that we will talk about, like weight. Now it's important to have a lightweight laptop because lightweight laptops are easy to carry and they're not that uncomfortable to carry. And then the operating system. Now the operating system is a personal choice, but generally Mac OS is used by professionals and Windows and Linux are used by others. Now a lot of people definitely do make use of Linux and Windows in the professional setting also, but it's very interchangeable based on a person's requirements. Now guys, these requirements are with the assumption that you need to make use of laptops. If with the desktop, you have different set of requirements altogether. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's look at the laptop list. Now guys, what I've done here is I've divided the laptop list into two categories: no expense spared and this will have to do. Now what does this mean? What this means is that those who are scared to look at their bank accounts can skip to the this will have to do category because that's a budget category, and the rest can keep on watching. So we will start off with the no expense spared category, which means that these are the highest specifications laptops. They're very expensive, but they have all the best specifications out there. So let's start the list. So first laptop we have here is Apple MacBook Pro. Now a lot of you may not be surprised at all because Apple makes one of the best laptops out there, and especially for coding, MacBooks are amazing. So let's look at its specifications. So it has a 16-inch Retina display, which is a very good screen. It has 16 GB of RAM. It has 9th Gen Intel Core i7, and it has a 512 GB hard drive. And it costs around 2 lakh rupees. So it's a very good laptop, and it's MacBook, but it costs a lot. But the price is worth it if you're ready to spend. Then we have Dell XPS 9570. Now this laptop is again amazing in its specifications. So let's look at it. It has a 15.6 Full HD screen, it has 16 GB of RAM, it has 9th Gen Intel Core i7, and it has 512 GB of solid state drive, SSD, instead of a hard drive. And it costs around 2 lakhs again. So it's a similar option, but it depends on what you like. You can go ahead for Dell or you can go ahead for the MacBook Pro. Then we have Microsoft Surface Book 3. Now the Microsoft Surface Book 3 has released in this year itself, in 2020. You can go for the older version, that is Book 2 also. But Microsoft Surface Book 3 has a lot of amazing specifications. It has 15 inches and the resolution is 3240 into 2160, which is a very good resolution for a screen. It has 32 GBs of RAM. It has a 10th gen Intel Core i7. It has 1 TB SSD. And it costs around 1,21,000 rupees. Now guys, the price quoted here is can be, it will vary based on what kind of model you're getting. Maybe you're getting a reduced SSD, then the price will vary based on that. And how much RAM are you going to be taking, or are you going to be taking a smaller screen Microsoft Surface Book? So the price will change from here and there. But I definitely recommend Microsoft Surface Book. It's pretty good to use and the feel of the keyboard is very comfortable. Then we have HP Spectre X360. Now this laptop is very specification heavy because it's got amazing specs, but it's also a bit more cheaper than the previous laptops. If you look at its specifications, we see that it has a 15-inch 4K display. Now 4K display, it's a really good screen. And then it has 16 GBs of RAM, it has 9th gen Intel Core i7, and it has 512 GBs of solid state drive space. And it costs around 1,21,000 rupees. Now the price is worth it for this laptop. I think in my opinion, this is the laptop I would go for. But again, depending on personal requirements and what do you think looks good or feels good, you can go ahead for that. And we have a special category case over here. Now Razer Blade Pro 17 isn't exactly a programming laptop. And generally laptops aren't specifically made for programming, but this laptop it's got a special spot in my heart because it's a gaming laptop. So if you're a person out there who's into programming as well as gaming, then you can go ahead for this laptop because this laptop has amazing specification. It has a 17.3-inch Full HD screen. That's a very big screen, so you can look at a lot of code at the same time. And a 16 GBs of RAM. It has 9th gen Intel Core i7, and it has a 512 GBs of SSD, right? So, and this is a gaming laptop, so it has a graphics card also, and it's a 260 Ti, so it's a very good graphics card. You can play all the up-to-date games also on this. But the cost actually measures up to that particular specification because its cost is 4,69,000 rupees. So again, the price will vary based on what kind of model you're getting, but this is the ballpark. So you can see how expensive it is, but it's really good if you want to both program and game at the same time. So guys, that was the no expense spared list. Now let's look at the this will have to do list. So in the this will have to do list, we have Dell Inspiron 155593. Now this is an all-rounder laptop. You can see its specifications with Full HD screen of 15.6 inches, 8 GBs of RAM, 10th gen Intel Core i5, 512 GBs of SSD, and 72,000 rupees is this cost. So you can see it's not that expensive. It's in the mid-budget range and it has all the specifications you can ask for. Then we have Lenovo ThinkPad E14. Now this is one of those laptops that don't look very good but still have a lot of specifications that you want to use in your laptop. So it has 14 inches of Full HD screen, 8 GBs of RAM, a 10th gen Intel Core i5, 1 TB of hard drive, and 128 GBs of SSD, and 59,000 rupees is its cost. So you can see for a 60,000 rupee package, you're getting a lot of different things in it. It doesn't look that good, but it's very utilitarian, right? You can use it for a lot of your purposes. Then we have Asus VivoBook 15. Now its specifications include having a 15.6-inch Full HD screen, 8 GBs of RAM, 8th gen Intel Core i5, and 512 GBs of SSD. So you can see a trend over here that a lot of these different laptops have SSD, that is solid state drive. Now solid state drives improve the processing of a particular laptop, and you can easily boot into your laptop, do a lot of processing, and basically have everything be done in a very small amount of time. So SSDs are very good if you're going for a programming laptop. So let's look at its cost. So its cost is only 50,000 rupees. So 50,000 rupees, you're getting SSD, you're getting 8th gen Intel Core i5 and 8 GB of RAM. So this is a very good mid-budget range laptop for programming. Then we have HP 15. Now HP 15 is also very good. It has 14 inches Full HD screen, 8 GB of RAM, 8th gen Intel Core i5, and has 1 TB of hard drive space. So it doesn't have an SSD, but it has 1 TB of hard drive space. That's a lot of space. and it costs around only 40,000 rupees or 41,000 rupees over here. So it's a very good laptop to go in the lower budget end. And obviously guys, if you think you can't afford any of these, make sure to reduce the specifications. Like if it's a i7 and you can't afford it, go for a 9.5 or go for a 9.3. It doesn't really matter what kind of laptop you're going for. You just need to go for some kind of laptop, because the best laptop you need for programming is the laptop you currently have. If you don't need a new one, you don't need to necessarily spend that money. But if you absolutely do need to spend money on a new laptop, then you can go ahead and reference the list I've given you guys. But otherwise, just keep this in mind. The best laptop you need for programming is the laptop you currently have. I hope this list helped you guys. I will see you guys in the next video.